How you guys doing today? I just gotta get TikTok on the wire here, and then we will be good to go. It's running a little late today, but we are here. I'll talk about my late running in a second. Okay. TikTok. Let's go classical learner. Let's go live. And let's go unschool. And then, hey YouTube, I'm just getting TikTok going here. All right. And go live. All right. We are live. 20 minutes late and better than ever before. And my regulars will say, but where's the consistency? And I will say, I certainly do agree. But it's a little bit of a rainy day here in the south, and I had a couple of errands I had to run this morning, and I was out of the house, and it ran a little bit longer than I wanted to run. But the other day, my dog, I have a compost bin, and it spins. And the other day, my dog, being as intelligent as she is, it's actually impressive that she figured this out, figured out how to spin it. So she was up on the compost bin, and she was spinning it, and then all of the water, all of the liquid, drained out of there, which, is rather stinky or whatnot. And she then proceeded to roll around in that on the floor, and I got a good kick out of the whole thing. But anyway, my wife decided it was time for her to get a more formal washing. So anyway, I made an appointment and I took her to the groomers today. So my doggy's getting groomed. And then I was out on the town, and on church on Sunday, they gave me this flyer, not a flyer, a coupon for the local bagel place. And I got a free half dozen bagels. So then I had to stop in there and get my bagels. And I was just running a little bit late. But needless to say, I am here. Today we're going to talk about a little bit about unschooling and a video I posted on my other channel, which got a lot of views. But anyway, I posted a video about unschooling. It's really been part of a series I've been doing about the different types of things you can do with unschooling. And I've been having a lot of fun with it because really, for those of you that are really familiar with my work, that's what I do. I mean, that's my value. That's who I am. For the last couple of years, I've done one-on-one consultations with families, and I've set up their individual homeschools. And yes, we've talked about formal curriculum, and you should do this, and you should do that, and you should use these resources, or you should use this textbook, or you should use this from The Good and the Beautiful, or whatever it might be. And I've done that, and I love doing that. But what my real value is, what I am truly, my gift is, what I am spectacular at, is identifying the interest of a child and saying that you should start a pathway following the interest of that child that puts them on a path toward an independent and free life and develops an entrepreneurial mindset within that child. And one of the things you'll get from people is, well, what if you think you're so smart, mister? Well, most 10-year-olds don't want to do the same thing when they're 25. Well, yeah, you're not understanding. You follow the interest of your child to develop skills. You use those skills to get them entrepreneurial experience within the range of that interest. And then you use that entrepreneurial experience to develop more and more skills that they can generalize to whatever it is they want to do in their life. And then, of course, you get the binary thinkers who are like, well, so they're not going to learn math and science? And like, do you hear yourself? Like, yes, they could still learn math and science. Believe it or not, they could do this and still learn math and science. All right? But that's what you get from people. You get a lot of, unfortunately, one of the pitfalls of getting a lot of traction on the videos like I do is you come across a lot of these low consciousness people, and I really shouldn't let them bother me. Like, I come across just as many people who are very high consciousness, who actually, they give me a lot of great ideas in terms of things that I can do, because when you get into the homeschool community, when you get into homeschool, unschool, these people are vibrating on a very high level, and they're very aware of what goes on in the world. They're very conscious of how the world functions, the corruption in the world. A lot of them themselves, because they are people that think outside the box, or they're very entrepreneurial in their own right. So when you get into the homeschool community, the unschooling community, it is one of the most impressive communities on the entire internet. In fact, I've been outspoken about saying that, and I stand by this, the modern homeschool movement, the homeschool movement in America right now, is the fastest growing, most powerful, organic freedom movement in not only modern American history, but the last 100 years. Because the enemies of America, the way we have been targeted, the way we have been attacked, is through subversion. YouTube says it's buffering. I'm just going to keep rocking. Hopefully it works. But we have been attacked through subversion, through covert means, as John F. Kennedy said in his Secret Society speech before his life was, anyway, we all know, we all have some idea in our head of what happened there. My idea might not be your idea, but we all have an idea in our head of basically what happened to him. So we have been attacked through the Department of Education, which is a friendly name for what it really is, which is the Department of Indoctrination, in which our students are being taught messages that so many of us are not comfortable with, whether it has to do with the facial coverings. And regardless of that, what are they teaching our children about their relationship with authority? Because if they're saying you have to cover your face, or even if, whatever the school's position might be, are they teaching your children that it's okay to question that authority? Right? I don't think they are. And I think that's a big problem. That is a big problem. And that's just what's happened in the last 2 years is really just a microcosm of that, right? And so we have all these problems within the schooling system. And everyone has their issue that they're not comfortable with. Some people aren't comfortable with the demographic messaging, where they really pit people against each other. They say it's for the opposite reason. But I was able to resume my YouTube stream, which dropped. So then you get them books that there's craft projects, 15 different craft projects your children could build. And they're learning the basics of carpentry, right? There are monthly subscription boxes where you could sign up. It's like $10 or $20 a month. And every month they actually deliver woodworking projects to your door. So now your child has a foundation in carpentry, right? They are able to do the basics of these things. So what do? This is where you really take the unschooling to another level. This is where you start to change your child's life. So now you're driving along the road, and inevitably this will happen. You're driving along, your child's in the car, and what do you see on the curb? Well, you see a desk. Someone's getting rid of a desk, right? You pull over. Hey, Johnny, you know what I think would be really fun? What, Dad? Wouldn't it be cool if we went and took that desk, brought it back to the house, and refurbished it? What do you mean refurbish it? We could take this desk, we could fix it up, we could make it any way you want. We could put cool designs on it. We could take an old lamp and screw it to the desk, and then it will be a desk with a lamp. We could sand it down, right? We could paint it. We can do all types of cool things with it, Johnny. What site for the subscription? That's classicallearner.com. Homeschools Connected. Make sure you use the promo code together, because you'll get a discount on that. So you say, okay, Johnny, let's go take this furniture. Let's bring it home. So then you bring the furniture home, and you and Johnny do a project. And all right, what do you want to do with this? We can make this really cool. Let's think outside the box. First let's strip it down, get rid of the materials that are no good, sand down some of the materials. What color do you want to paint it? Do you want to put any designs on it? Do you want to make anything unique about it, right? Do you want to put a divider on the desk? Do you want to put a lamp on the desk? Do you want to put We could turn it into a vanity, right? Like we could find an old mirror and put it up on the desk. So you put that mirror up on the desk, and now you build, maybe let's for sake of argument, let's say you and Johnny built this cool vanity, right? Then you say, okay, this is awesome. You know what we can do with this vanity, Johnny? What, Dad? I bet this is so cool. I bet there's people that would be willing to buy it. There would? Yeah. And if you sell it and you get the money, that'll be your money, and you can get whatever you want with it. We flip this, we take this refurbished furniture that you just did, and we sell it. You could take that money. What toy do you want? You go buy it. I can? Of course. It's your money. Look, I mean, you found this on the side of the road. You put in all this work. If you sell it, I mean, that's your profit. Do you see the mindset we're developing, by the way? So, okay, all right, Dad, we can do that. How do we do that? Good question. Well, we can, there's a local flea market, you know, and every Sunday they're open and people sell stuff that they make at the flea market. Why don't we do an internet search, and you say, this is how you do the internet search, flea markets near me. All right, we get their number. Why don't we call them up and find out if we could come to some type of agreement where we sell our furniture there? And you get them on the phone, and you actually have little Johnny make the phone call. And you could write up a script. You could have him write the script, right? So he's learning English. You could, as he writes it, you could go over the grammar, say, I like what you did here. You could do practice runs. All right, I'm going to pretend I'm the owner of the flea market. You call me up. You do a practice run. Hey, I'm Johnny. I'm a local 12-year-old. I live nearby, and I just refurbished this furniture. I'd love to send you a picture, and if you like what you see, I'd love to come to some type of agreement with you. Great. So anyway, you do the practice runs, then you have him call the flea market, local flea markets, make an agreement. You show up at the flea market. Johnny sells his desk, his vanity that he made. Very cool stuff, right? And now he makes the money. And you say, all right, Johnny, you can do whatever you want with it. This is great. This is you crushed. Go get yourself something. And Johnny goes and gets himself something. But you say, you know what? This was a great experience, Johnny. And I'd like to introduce you to some concepts of other things you could have done with that money. Other things? What other things, Dad? This is something we are both wanting to learn together. Yeah, really cool stuff. So, well, there's this thing called investing. Investing? What's investing, Dad? Well, think about it, Johnny. You just made your desk, you refurbished your desk, and we took it to the flea market, and you sold it for $100. That's amazing, right? You got yourself a toy. But what you could have done is you could have taken that $100 and purchased some really cheap items, refurbished them, and then you could have sold 3 or 4 more items at the flea market, and you could have turned that $100 into $300 or $400, right? You could have invested that money in yourself. Oh. Then there's this other thing called the stock market. Some people invest in real estate. There's a lot of different things you could invest in. So I'm going to get you this book. Can I get you a book on it? Sure, Dad. So then you get him the Investment Ninja or the Money Ninja, which are great books for children, Finance 101. I mean, depending on where he is and what you want, you could get him a book that's relevant to Johnny's age and, you know, what Johnny's doing, right? So you teach him the basics of investment. If he's in high school, middle school, high school age, you could even get him books like Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which introduce these concepts of investment very effectively, right? So you say, all right, Johnny, let's do this again. Was this fun? Yeah. So next time you're driving along, you see some more furniture on the side of the road. You refurbish it, you know, he fixes it up. You go to the flea market, he sells it. You say, Johnny, you want to know what else we could do? Because now he's liking it. You know what else you could do? I mean, you just flipped 2 items that you refurbished yourself. And think of the sense of accomplishment, the skill development, the writing, the organization, the script, the reach out to the working, the collaboration with the owner of the flea market, the marketing, the sales, everything that goes into this, and the skills of carpentry, of course, the mindset, everything that's going into this. And you say, all right, you just flipped your second item. I have an idea. What if now, instead of, because we read about investment, you could go buy yourself something again, and I won't stop you. You know, this is your money, you earned it. But I have an idea. What if you figure out something that you want to build that you can make a lot of? Oh, what do you mean? And I'm just going to use an easy example here. Well, you know how this past summer we made a birdhouse and, you know, that was a fun project? Yeah, that was a great project we did last summer. All right, well, do you think other people would want those birdhouses? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, people seem to like your carpentry. I mean, they loved that furniture that you refurbished was literally someone's garbage on the side of the road. It was so worn down, so beat up that no one wanted it. Yet, you took it, you fixed it up, you put your creation and your spirit and your energy and your soul into it, and then people spent $100 on it. So do you think people would want your craftsmanship? So what if we get the materials and you build 10 birdhouses? Oh, okay, you could design them. And then what we can do is there are websites like Etsy, there's Facebook Marketplace, and we could actually list them online and see if people on the internet want to buy them. You can? How do you do that? Well, let me show you. Let's go over to Facebook Marketplace. You see how this works? And I just got a notification that my dental plan that I was buying last year renewed for $210, and but now I have new insurance that actually covers dental, so I don't need that. So I'm gonna have to go dispute that. Anyway, neither here nor there. So you say, all right, this is how Facebook Marketplace uses, and this is how Etsy works. And let's show them how Etsy works. So why don't we create your own Etsy shop? Okay, create the Etsy shop. Build out the birdhouses. Now you have the Facebook Marketplace, you have the Etsy shop. But what you really want to do now, because the trick is, if we can get people to see what you make, we already showed at the flea market. When people see what you make, they buy it. So here's what we're going to do. We need to figure out how to get people to see it. How do we do that? Why don't we read a book on social media marketing, right? And there's books like Contagious, which I've read, which have helped me in my journey. I'm pretty good at making videos become contagious. So let's read a book like Contagious, right? And maybe there's courses I've taken personally with Chris Johnson. I'm actually a member of his wealth squad. Right, I'm a member of his wealth squad, his group has been helpful to me. So you could take courses in social media marketing, read books on social media marketing. We could do some YouTube education on social media marketing, and say, okay, well, now we know marketing, and let's try to sell these birdhouses. And you could make an Instagram, a Facebook page related to it, and try to drive traffic to his Etsy shop. And say, you know what would be really helpful is if you had your own website. My own website? Yeah, your own website. Yeah, look, why don't we take, there's basic courses, real simple stuff, you don't have to get too complex, on sites like Udemy where we can learn web design. Okay, and you take a course with him in web design and say, okay, now you took this course, let's go and build a website. And you don't have to like code it from scratch. You could use a site like GoDaddy or Bluehost or a variety of others, and you build out this website, and now he knows the basics of web design, right? And it just goes on and on and on. And you can, whatever he takes interest in, you could have him start reading more books on financial literacy. You could have him start taking courses in STEM and engineering. If we took some courses in engineering, we could really start to do some awesome stuff with your birdhouses. Like, what if we could take your birdhouses and make it so people push a button and the birdhouse starts to sing? We can do that? Of course we can do that, Johnny. But we have to start taking these courses that are available in STEM. And there's plenty of courses available in this stuff. Okay, let's do it. So now you're taking your child's interest and, you're teaching him carpentry. You're teaching him organization, planning, all the ins and outs of refurbishing furniture, writing out a script, doing sales, doing marketing, making a business call, making money, different ways in which he can invest that money, building websites, building websites, social media marketing, all of these skills that Johnny's learning that he can, benefit him for a lifetime. And even with the website, like one of the things I think all children should do is once he starts building the website, you say, and he has the Etsy shop, then you say to him, okay, well, if you could post really pretty pictures, then people are more likely to want to buy your stuff. So what if you take a course in graphic design and another course in photography, and then you could take beautiful photos of your birdhouses, right? Maybe with birds in them in nature. And once you have the photos, you could touch them up with graphic design and make them really pop so that you can do great social media marketing. The marketing we already read about. Okay, right? So you do all this stuff, you follow the interest of your child, you use the interest of your child to develop skills. You use the skills to get your children entrepreneurial experience. You use the entrepreneurial experience to expand the range and diversity of your children's skill set. And you just build and build and build. And all while you're doing this, you are getting them invaluable experience. And the mindset development itself is out of this world. That's what I wanted to talk about. You notice my hat? Unschoolable. Because I am unschoolable. And we are the unschoolables. So let me know if you guys have any questions, but that's what I wanted to talk about today. I'm going to go back and read your comments now. I've learned that it's advantageous for me to get through what I have to say first. Otherwise, the trolls get me sidetracked. Next thing you know, I'm yelling at the trolls. And anyway. Thoughts on religious private schools? Yeah, I mean, if the private school is in line with your worldview, then every parent should raise their children in their worldview with a root in what they believe in. Phoenix Williams. Phoenix, are you the Phoenix in Homeschools Connected, our homeschool community? I love these ideas, though my kids being 5 and 2 are young, I can still instill these values and they would love to help and make money. Yeah, well, you got to keep in mind, so with like a young child, like by 5 years old, you could have them good enough at something like baking where you're hosting like front yard bake sales for the family, right? So it doesn't have to be overly complex. Hey, Phoenix, happy to have you here. So yeah, it doesn't have to be overly complex. You just want to get them that experience and that mindset development, all while developing skills. Like cooking is a great skill, and there's a lot of stuff that you can do with the skill of cooking. So, you teach your children baking. There's cool books on Amazon, $10. Baking for toddlers, baking for, 5-year-olds, whatever. Dude, what I love most about this is the opportunity to learn these skills as well. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, as you do it, you're learning the skills yourself, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, you teach your children these basic skills. You get them, I call it the rule of 6. I probably need a better name since, like 666 in the Bible and everything. And, everyone Illuminati confirmed type stuff. But I don't know. I break a school year down into 2 semesters, so 6 months. But anyway, for now, I call it the rule of 6. Where every 6 months of your child's life, from the time they're 5 years old, you just want to get them some type of entrepreneurial experience. Because if you do that, they kind of just think, oh, well, this is how we live. Yeah, I mean, of course I do business stuff. Why wouldn't I be doing business stuff, right? Isn't that what everyone does? What do you mean? What do you mean there's 27-year-olds that have never done anything entrepreneurial in their life and wouldn't even know where to begin? I've been doing this since I was 5. What do you think I'll be doing when I'm 27? Come on. It's like you get these public schools and they're like, how we could get children ready for the real world? By keeping them in this artificial environment that is in no way anything like the real world. Yeah, that's a good idea, hack at the Department of Education. Did you think of that all by yourself? Oh, I thank you. Yes, I did. I was just sitting here and I was thinking, if we're going to get these children ready for life, we need to keep them locked between concrete walls 8 hours a day for 15 straight years. And they can learn nonsense. Well, all right. I mean, do you think we should at least teach them like financial literacy? No, I don't know why. I don't know why they would need to know financial literacy. Do you think we should teach them any skills? Like, do you think they should like really be like we have them for 15 years. By the time they're 18, they should basically be like a carpenter, right? They should have some real skills, or they should be master painters and master conductors of music. They should be engineers, right? They should know engineering and computer coding and photography and videography. Oh, no. I mean, maybe they could take a class in that here or there. Yeah. Yeah. If you want their real world to be in a cubicle, right? Well, that's the thing. That's the real world they prepare children for. To show up at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m., do what your teacher or your boss tells you to do until 3 p.m. or 5 p.m., right? And never do anything for yourself. Don't think outside the box. Don't be creative. Don't pursue endeavors of your interest, things that you believe would be advantageous and beneficial to your life, right? There's a reason that a public school system mimics rat race. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if your child grows up and he wants to work for a corporation, that's fine. Like, that's the right career choice for some people. That's what makes them happy. But, like, the problem with the system is it funnels children toward that life. And with its lack of skill development, lack of experience, lack of mindset development, it's the only option they have. And then on top of it, schools not only don't teach financial literacy, which is just a joke, they don't even educate children enough to understand what their college loans will mean. So when their entire life, they say, if you don't go to college, you will be a failure. If you don't go to college, you will be a failure. If you go to college, you will be a failure. Everything you do is about going to college. And then on their 18th birthday or 17, 18 years old, they have them take out these big loans, this college debt, without them properly understanding what that debt means and how interest works, right? Right? These guidance counselors should be sitting down with these children, and at the very least, they should say, okay, you want to go to college? Great. There are a lot of avenues through college which you could be very successful. But we need to do a cost-benefit analysis. Cost-benefit analysis, what is that? Well, let's sit down and we'll say, okay, what do you want to go to college for? Don't tell me undeclared, because the idea of taking out $100,000 in loans for something when you have no idea what you're doing it for, that doesn't make sense, right? So what do you want to go to college for? What is your purpose? I want to be blah, whatever. Okay. So that will cost you over 4 years at this university will cost you $75,000. Okay. Now, let's talk about the interest. With the interest, if you pay back that $75,000 at this rate, it will wind up costing you this amount of money, more than $75,000, right? Whatever it ends up being, $150,000, and it will take you X amount of years, right? And you'll have to pay X amount of dollars a month for all those years to make that happen. Oh, okay, well now I'm actually starting to understand these. So now we have to say, okay, but we need to know how much money you're going to make in order to make that happen. So based on your career choice, the starting salary is, for someone in this career, is $40,000, right? And the average salary for someone with 15 years experience is, $65,000, $70,000, whatever it might be. And then you could run the numbers and say, okay, now this is what you're looking at for your life. And if that's something you're comfortable with, then by all means, go forward. But make sure, right? Doesn't it make sense? Why, isn't it common sense that you should make sure the person taking out that loan, if you're like a guidance counselor at a school, so if you know any guidance counselors at schools, by all means share this. Or principals who they suck, or hacks at the Department of Education. Watch this. Learn something, you political hacks. To take these children and actually show them what these financial decisions mean. And then, based on that, if they're still comfortable, then they're able to make an informed decision. And maybe, listen, for some people, absolutely the right path. That's what they want. Okay, I understand that. That's fine. But what I don't like is this system, which is funneling these children through this system in which they're saying your only path to success is college. Hey, Matthew, you're 5, better go to college. Hey, you're 7, if you don't do good on this standardized test, you're not going to go to college. Hey, you're 9, you better straighten out your standardized test scores or you're not going to college. Oh, you're getting ready for high school. You better get ready for those SATs. If you don't do good on those SATs, you're not going to go to college. And then if you don't go to college, the only job you'll be able to get is at McDonald's. Hey, teacher, if the only job I'm able to get, if I don't go to college, and the only job I'll be able to get is at McDonald's, what does that say about this public school education you're giving me? So your public school education is only worth the McDonald's job? You have me for 12 to 15 years, and the best job you could guarantee me is at McDonald's if I don't take out $100,000 in loans. That's what the public school system is. And people don't look at it that way, but that's the truth. Doesn't that blow your mind? And then they turn 18 years old and they say, you sign on this line, $100,000 debt. What does that mean? Don't worry about what it means. What are you majoring in? I don't know. Oh, you don't know. Oh, man. I mean, imagine you went to the bank. This is the only thing. Imagine you went to the bank and you said, hi, Mr. Banker. Hi. I'm starting a business and I want to take out a $100,000 loan. Okay. All right. And can you show me what your business model will be? Do you have any numbers? Do you have any information? No. I'm sorry, sir. I'm not understanding. You just said you're starting a business and you want to take out a $100,000 loan. Yeah. But you don't have any business plan? No, I don't have a plan. I'm just here to take out the money. All right, sir. You've said enough. I'm going to give you this $100,000. You get out there and you start that business. That is what college is right now. That is the public schooling system. And it is an abomination to call itself education. See what my 2 people said. The problem is that many of the parents can't put a plug on a kettle or hammer. Well, that's why you have to learn this stuff with your children. Yeah, compound interest is brutal, Hardwood Bear. Compound interest is interest on top of interest. So it's like, it's brutal. And then it's like, you have to know, does it compound monthly, right? Does it compound yearly, monthly, daily? So avoid compound interest. And just see what the people are saying. What time are your classes, and if so, are they recorded? Yes. So I teach a class every Thursday at 10:30 a.m., Foundations of Propaganda. And if you join now, you also get access to all of the replays from the previous classes. And then actually in the next couple of weeks, I'll be pivoting from Foundations of Propaganda to Foundations of American Governance. So I'll be teaching children the structure of government. So yes, I teach class Thursday at 10:30 a.m. And the classes, the reviews have been phenomenal, and everyone seems to love them. So how can I explain to my 9th grader she's been brainwashed in public school? Well, you never want to explain to someone that they've been brainwashed, because you got to put yourself in their brain, right? In their brain, they know. They're knowers. They know things, right? So the best thing we can do is start to seed. So I wouldn't even go there. What I would say is I would go to the grocery store and pick up a box. I would pick up a cereal box. And I'd read the ingredients on the back of the box and maybe pick something like MSG, right? something with allegedly could it be possibly having side effects, right? Something like red dye, what is it, red dye 7 or whatever it is. And then I would take my daughter to the grocery store, and when we were there, I'd say, you know what, can we do something fun this week? My friend was telling me to try this, and I thought it would be fun. Why don't we pick an ingredient on the back of this box, and let's go home and just research it. And then you click on, you pick red dye 7, and you come home, you go do an internet search, like DuckDuckGo, red dye 7 plus side effects, and just start reading. It causes all of these problems, right? So, why don't we hear that? Why don't we hear that about the food system? And then just one piece by piece, just start researching little thing by little thing and just deconstructing the worldview that they've given to your child. Because if your child's been in public school up until 9th grade and you really feel that they're brainwashed, then you have to break that conditioning. One of the things you can do, my students are studying the media industrial complex this year, our high school students, and we're teaching them how to track the money. So they're tracking, they're reading the congressional report from the church committee. So you could have your child read the congressional church committee report, page 170 or something like that, to 205 or something like that. And they say, so the corporate media is actually funded by the government, by the Central Intelligence Agency, to a large extent, right? So, okay, that's interesting. Then you could look up how much money pharmaceutical companies spend on commercials for the mainstream media every year. That's a lot of money. Then you could look up the parent corporations that control everything you see on media. Oh, wow. So you don't have to be conspiratorial. Just, wow. Did you know that it looks like 90% of TV studios, ESPN, Disney, all this stuff, or ESPN, ABC, all this stuff, they're actually owned by 5 corporations, right? And you just start to deconstruct their worldview. Let's look more into the pharmaceutical. That pharmaceutical stuff was interesting. Why don't we go to opensecrets.org and just look up which industry, because we could sort by industry. Why don't we look up which industry spends the most money lobbying Congress, politicians? Wow. In 2022, it was, let's go build a big farm. I got to be careful how I word this stuff. You know what industry it was. The one that took over the world the last 2 years, right? In 2021, wow, it was the same industry. In 2020, it was the same industry. In 2019, 2018, 2017, 2006, every single year? Well, all right. They're lobbying Congress, but what does it mean? What is lobbying? Why don't we go on YouTube and see if we could find some investigative reports on what lobbyists actually do? And that's one of the things, by the way, my students are doing it this year. We're studying the medical industrial complex as soon as we finish with the media industrial complex. And our students will be learning what lobbyists do. Lobbying is a very friendly term to what they do. Lobbying. It's like, that's like if you were in the Olympics. If you were in the Olympics and you're an Olympic gymnast, right? And before the gold medal event, you go up to the judges and you take them out to dinner and you buy them a $10,000 bottle of wine. You take them to a football game. You take them to the Super Bowl and you sit on the 50-yard line with them. You pay for their jet. You fly them across the country. You bring their whole family out. And then you're like, all right. Well, I hope that I win the gold medal, because I would really love for this relationship to continue for the next 4 years up until the next Olympics. Yeah, that's how lobbying works. Lobbying. We're just lobbying. We're just lobbying. We're just spending that money lobbying. Oh, people, you just wait. Just wait until I get to the lobbying portion of this year. Because my TikToks always evolve with what I'm doing in my homeschool community. Just wait till I get to the lobbying portion. Well, I'm just lobbying. Yeah, I hope I win the gold medal, and I really would love for our relationship to continue just like this for the next 4 years, up until the next Olympics. But, I just really hope I win. I really hope I win that gold medal, Judge. Lobbying. Must be nice to be lobbied. Joined Homeschool Connected. Having a hard time navigating it. Inbox me. I'm Classical Learner on there. I will walk you through everything. So just inbox me. What is your name on Homeschools Connected? I just joined. My child's in public school, but I'm trying to incorporate these lessons. Awesome. I inbox all of my new members within 24 hours of them joining. 24 to 36 hours of them joining. So I will, if you just joined, I'm going to inbox you. And I don't just inbox you. Like, I give you the rundown. I'll give you the rundown of how everything works. But then we're going to talk about your child. I'm going to say, how old is your child? You're going to tell me. I'm going to ask what schooling you've done up until this point. You're going to say, I've done this, this, and this. What curriculum are you using? I'm using this. Have you done any unschooling? Yes, no, maybe so. And what are your children interested in? And then I'm going to walk you through what I would be doing if your child was my child. So we'll inbox in the next 24 to 36 hours. I'll reach out to you. Where are you from? I woke up this morning. I woke up this morning and I was reading my comments from yesterday, and one of the first comments I read was basically someone threatening to do a really bad thing to me that starts with the letter M and ends with So I tend to play that close to the vest these days. So, I blocked them, needless to say, but yes, I woke up this morning to someone threatening to end with a me. So I will. Anyway, I'm in the South. Yeah, it was a nice start to my morning. I wake up early. I actually think I slept in a little late today, so I think it was about 4:30 a.m. It was about 4:30 a.m. and I woke up and I had such a nice message written to me. So my son gets bullied so much. I would really love to do this so he can thrive, not have a complex. How old is your son? I'm not going to see it because I'm up in the chat. I'm coming down. But if your son's getting bullied, I would right away start him on a sporting team. I would start him in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, karate. You got to give him some confidence so that he isn't scared when he's being bullied. That doesn't mean he should be initiating any violence, of course not. But you want him to feel confident so that it helps. It helps, especially for a young man. Lost my spot. He can't help it for being 4'11" in second grade. He can't help it. Yeah, just teach him how to crush. He'll be okay. But yeah, public school, if you think about the dreadfulness of public school, the bullying rates in public school are horrible. And there are a lot of young people who suffer from depression, anxiety, and all the ramifications that come with that, which is very, very sad and very a real indictment of the system. So if your child's being bullied, you got to make sure you give him the tools to protect himself. You could even... I got to find a good class on rhetoric. I know, like, people think it's crazy when I say things like this, but, like, you know, people always think of bullying, like, if a bully hits you, you hit them back, and then they know not to do it. And that's true. But you can do that with words, too. And people, like, that's not a popular thing for me to say. But if people are bullying me with words, then I'm going to hit them back with words. Like, if you come at me with words, I'm going to hit you 10 times harder with words. Right? Like, if you watched my stream a few days ago, I literally, some of my trolls, I ripped so hard into their ego that I think they just left. They probably ran away crying. And that wasn't me starting it, but, like, you know, but yes, if your children understand rhetoric well, like, your mama jokes could be very powerful. It's just, but anyway, you got to give your children the tools to protect themselves. You know, I wouldn't have my child in that environment in the first place, but if they're there, in all honesty, like, if it's my child, then I'm going to show them how to flat out embarrass the people that are trying to bully them, to intimidate those people, to embarrass those people, and to make sure that he has a tight-knit friend group so people have his back. So whether that's on a sporting team, you know, whatever that might be, I'm not going to allow my child to be bullied. And if that ends with someone else's child getting put in an armbar, then that's so be it. So, and I don't care if that's not popular. That's the truth. Like, I remember my father's a Marine, right? My father is one of the toughest sons of a you-know-what that you will ever meet. My father is a Marine. He's about 6'2", and he is a bad mamma jamma. He fought in Nam. And when I was a child growing up, I mean, if I were getting bullied, my father would just look at me and he'd say, well, what are you going to do about it? He'd say, you're going to let him bully you? I'm not going to step in. He would tell you, say, go handle it. And that served me very well. And because of that, you know, people kind of in school, they didn't bully me because they were like, yeah, good luck bullying Brett. He's going to, he's going to clock you. But, and that lesson served me well in life. And to me, that's just, there's a lot of truth in that. So, I don't know. Hey, Tiff Gog. Oh, yeah, and, my wife was saying, I don't know if anyone, Okie Mom, yeah, hslda.org, they have the regulations for homeschooling. You click, there's a map, you click on the state that you live, it has the regulations, and it has the paperwork you need to file. Do not pull your child out of public school until you get the okay from the district. Just trust me, you don't want that problem. Even it might be unfortunate, you have to leave them in for a few more weeks. Do it the right way. Go through the proper channels. File your letter of intent. You can find it right on that website. And dot your I's, cross your T's, get your paperwork notarized. So no one could come back later and say you didn't file paperwork. Say, yes, I did. Because sometimes the districts play games. The fact that schools don't even tell the truth in curriculum is enough to question. Red Dye 40, my wife said, so that's the one. Thank you, I will look into that. Where do I find the recordings? So if you look on the left side menu, Homeschools Connected. If you look on the left side menu in Homeschools Connected, you'll see Propaganda Class Replay. And in that area, you could find the replays from our previous classes. And I post the replays there every week, so. How our birth certificate bonds us to what they want is sick. Yeah, well, essentially, when our birth certificate is created, when we get a birth certificate, we, essentially, a trust account, for lack of a better term. A trust is created with your same name. So, like, for instance, I am Brett Pike. But then there's another version of me on paper. Written, if you ever look at your name on legal documents, it's always written in all capital letters. What else is written in all capital letters on legal documents? So think about this. If you look at a legal document, your name will always be written in all caps. Well, another entity in which your name is written in all caps, the name, are corporations, right? So it's referring to the version of you that is your birth certificate, right? And then when you get into legal proceedings, if you accept that you are one with that paperwork, that birth certificate, you have already forfeited your constitutional protections. And I know that's confusing. I'm not going to get fully into it today, but it gets into common law, the Organic Act of 1871. I actually, in my homeschool community, one of the things I have are resources available to teach their children about this type of stuff. And it is one of my long-term objectives to get Tom Burnett, the absolute legend, to teach a class on this. So in time, I'll get Tom. Love Tom Burnett. Tom Burnett, when I started writing my books and I was trying to break out on social media, was one of the first big accounts who, he didn't just share my stuff. He didn't just, do I avoid birth certificates? No, I'm not there yet. If you're going to do it, you better be good at it. I'm not good enough at it yet. Tom Burnett didn't know who I was, and he didn't just share my stuff on his social media. He downloaded the video that I created, and he reposted the video on every one of his social media accounts. Knowing nothing about me, having never met me, Tom Burnett is an amazing human being, and I am forever grateful that he did that for me, and it made a very big difference in me getting started. So Tom Burnett is an absolute legend. He, if you want to know about common law and the stuff that we're talking about with the birth certificates, follow him. And if you want to know about healthy living and that type of stuff, Tom Burnett. My wife could attest, and these are like the little moments that people don't see, but I was written my books and I was trying to get them out there, and Tom Burnett did that, and I was so excited. I was really excited. All of a sudden he shared all this stuff, and I started getting all this traction. I just needed some traction. And then, the rest was history. And by the way, just as a matter of fact, to this day, I didn't at the time, but about 5 or 6 months after that, Tom Burnett launched his own platform, tomburnett.tv. And as soon as he launched his platform, I do believe, because I have a notification. Whenever Tom posts, I get notified. I do that with a bunch of legends. So I got the notification, live, that his new platform went live. I went right to it, subscribed to it. I believe I was his first ever donator, and I've been giving him $10 a month ever since, because he's an absolute legend. And that's tomburnett.tv. Oh yeah, it's bribing, absolutely. Lobbying equals bribing. They call it lobbying. The U.S. America is a corporation. Yes, that is correct. And that gets the Organic Act of 1871. I'm interested in these classes for my kids. www.classicallearner.com. Use the promo code together, all lowercase. Oh, he's 8 years old? Yeah, get him in jiu-jitsu right away. Right away. Absolutely. Cat crushing from Texas. Allie's getting an error. All right, Allie, I'm going to inbox you. No, she's in there already. I'm going to inbox you as soon as I get off the stream. And yes, the classes are all on the Discord. Well, I mean, the link to them is on the Discord. So, yeah, when you join, you get a welcome email from Support by LaunchPass. So the email will have an access code, and then you use that access code, and once you copy and paste it, you get access to everything. But I'm gonna inbox you right after the stream. All right, so if you guys don't have any more questions, I'll call it a day, and then I'm going to go help get Allie set up. Okay, I'm Allie. Okay, yeah, I'm going to get you set up. You guys have any more questions, or we'll call it a stream on that? But this is a fun talk on unschooling. It was a fun talk on the education system and how we could better educate our children. And, yeah, I think we covered a pretty wide range of subject matter here today. I stream every day at 9:30 a.m. I was 20 minutes late today because I took my dog to get her grooming. And got to go pick her up at about 2:30. All right, guys. So you can find me on Classical Learner on everything. www.classicallearner.com. Homeschools Connected. Promotion code together, all lowercase, $10 a month. And, you know, if you need anything, just let me know. Freedom is free. We have to earn it every day. And I will undoubtedly be back tomorrow at 9:30 a.m., allegedly, to earn it.